How do you do, all my fellow and future outlaws? This is Card Games vs. Humanity, and I am that NAKAK Double G. Back with another storytime comedy recap of our favorite Saturday morning cartoon that we all knew and loved. So without any further ado, let's get to this week's episode, which for some reason they decided to show that intro that they had at the beginning of episode 1. Which they probably could have just, left to episode 1. And miraculously, the episode begins with our heroes actually at school. Don't get used to that. Can you guess what they're doing? Can you? I'll give you 3 guesses.
Are they playing card games?
Bitch, how did you know that?
Yeah, I tell ya. Like that wimpy card has a chance against my giant rock guy.
Joey, they literally have the same amount of attack. Taya uses a magic card to destroy Joey's unstoppable rock monster and somehow loses the duel with no explanation of how he lost his life points. Meeting our heroes back at the park, Joey laments his shittiness and shows Yugi his deck full of kick-butt monster cards. Naturally, the expert duelist Yugi berates him for having nothing but monster cards, claiming that he needs magic cards to support his monsters along the way. No mention of trap cards, though. No one needs any of those in their deck, which, funnily enough, is sort of kind of the case in most decks since 2018. Yugi brings Joey to the card shop only to manipulate the fuck out of his grandfather in an effort to help Joey with his crappy dueling abilities.
But only if you're willing to spend endless days and sleepless nights filled with rigorous training.
Considering the magnitude of importance that card games play in this show, I'm not really sure if I should be surprised or not that they treat learning the game like it's a trip to fucking boot camp or something. On second thought, if you consider having to learn every single stupid ruling that's ever come into play while playing the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, I honestly might take my chances with boot camp.
Can you name the most powerful duel monster?
Yatagrasu?
Can you name the weakest?
Well, that one's easy. Obviously, it's Karibo. This exciting episode continues with our heroes back at home sitting on the couch watching TV. Oh wait, silly me, they're watching the Duel Masters National Championships, a tournament that drew in a staggering 200 people from across the entire country of wherever the hell this is from. 200's not really a lot, though. Somehow, this epic bracket has come down to Rex and Weevil, 2 highly skilled duelists who are very good at what they do. Grandpa enters the room with a mysterious box, claiming that Yugi already has fan mail after his defeat of Seto Kaiba. Damn, episode 2, and he already has fan mail? Wish YouTube worked that fast. Unfortunately, this particular piece of fan mail is from Pegasus, and I can understand why you didn't guess that at first because it wasn't covered in My Little Pony and Spice Girl stickers.
Oh, and Raptor plays the strongest card in his deck!
Look, I understand that this is episode 2 and they don't want to go crazy, but 1600? Really? The strongest monster in his deck. And this is a man who's in the finals of a national championship who apparently overwhelmed people with his power. 1600. Jesus Christ. Weevil sets a basic insect in one back row to combat Rex, who remembers that following the rules is about the silliest thing you can do, and attacks Weevil immediately while it's still his turn.
When an enemy attacks, my vortex activates. Totally traps your King Rex in its inescapable embrace.
Ah yes, Infinite Dismissal, a card that destroys level 3 or lower monsters during the end phase of the turn they were summoned. That can definitely be used as a spellbinding circle effect during the turn it was set. All of this definitely makes sense. After the duel is finished, Joey tells us all his favorite scene in One Punch Man.
Man, King Rex squashed by an insect?
Pegasus appears to award Weevil the trophy and then immediately shows him up by announcing an even bigger tournament. A tournament that's actually a secret plan to lure in people with the Millennium items. Definitely not a contrived plan with many variables that could go wrong. They finally decide to pop in the fan mail video when all of a sudden Pegasus appears on the screen in front of everyone. And considering everyone else can see him at first, it's never really made clear if this is the actual videotape or if he was just there from the start. Then Yugi reveals the final thoughts of every burger I've ever come in contact with in my entire life.
Everything's growing dark and cold and the others aren't moving.
Yugi takes a staggering 1 line of convincing to agree to fight in this duel. No explanation, he was just ripping and roaring to go. Pegasus, the creator of the game, access to nearly any and all card ever made, begins the duel by setting 1 back row and then ending his turn. Apparently this is an effective move though because Yugi has a Komori dragon in his hand, to which Pegasus just cheats and activates his card anyways, even though I'm pretty sure Yugi never summoned the monster yet. Come to think of it, Yugi hasn't actually cheated in either of his duels yet. Give it time. Pegasus reveals to Yugi that he didn't actually invent duel monsters, that he actually traced it from ancient Egyptian comic books that he found while on vacation.
Magical force is so powerful, the Egyptians lost control of them and nearly destroyed the entire world.
Why is it showing the last attack of season 1 in episode 2? You could have literally shown anything else. Anything. Why? Pegasus uses the Dragon Piper to take control of Komori Dragon, prompting Yugi to do his first cheat by counter-attacking with a Silver Fang that I'm pretty sure he didn't even set last turn. The Komori Dragon defeats Yugi's Silver Fang and he loses 500 life points, even though Silver Fang has 1200 and Komori Dragon has 1500. They're just making shit up as they go at this point, huh? They just, like, the first few episodes, fuck it.
What happens if I draw a new card straight from the deck without even looking at it?
Okay, Yugi, you were doing so good, man. You were like 1.5 episodes in, no cheating, and then you're just like, if you can't beat him, join him. Fuck it. And I didn't see anyone play Darkness Approaches.
But my Dark Magician is one of the strongest magic cards in the game.
King of games, everybody. King of fucking games. Unfortunately for our hero, Pegasus filibusters the rest of this duel, only leaving 10 seconds left for him to attack. Yugi summons this sexually confused Celtic Guardian in an effort to destroy the Faceless Mage, but his monster is destroyed instead by the Dark Magician now under Pegasus' control. But fuck it, we've already cheated twice, so let's summon the Summoned Skull on the same turn to attack and win. Unfortunately, the time does run out right before the attack can connect, leaving Pegasus the victor by default of having more life points. A well-established, long-standing rule known by many professionals. Pegasus reveals his Millennium Eye, which somehow surprises Yugi even though he was literally talking about it the entire fucking episode, right before Pegasus steals his grandfather's soul, leaving him in a slightly more lifeless state than he was before. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Card Games vs. Humanity. I want to thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a comment, tell me what you thought. Hit that like button, share with a buddy or two. They'll thank you for the giggles. Tune in next week where Joey finally learns what a trap card is. That's it, nothing else. That's the whole episode. And of course, a shout out to all my patrons. Should you decide to cheat and attack my monster while it's still my turn, I will retaliate in full, and I don't mean with trading cards. This has been the Man from Earth with all the girth, ladies and gentlemen. Be the character you know you're worth. Later. Oh wait, silly me, they're there. Oh wait, silly me, they're Fuck you. Yes, Infinite Grandpa enters the room with a mysterious box for his grandpa. Jesus Christ. They finally decided to pop in the fan mail video when all of a sudden Pegasus appeared. Pegasus. Not really sure if I should be That's going in the bloopers.